Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this Thursday edition of Extra Time on ESPN FC. I'm Sebi, and we have a great group of panelists to take your questions from social media. Steve, Nicol, Julien Laurens, Shaka Hislop, making a weird face, as always. Stevie, first question for you. Fitting after Liverpool's 3-1 win over Spurs. As Trent Alexander-Arnold, is he Liverpool's most important player? When he has a good day, Liverpool wins. When he is having a bad day, they just do not attack like they do. What do you think, Stevie?
No, I wouldn't say the results depend on his performance, to be honest.
Who's more important?
My goodness. Do you know what? I'm going to say, since Jordan Henderson moved out in the middle of the park, they've not been as good. I don't think they've gotten the ball to the front three as quickly, and they haven't stopped the opposition getting to the back four as much as they used to without Henderson. So I would probably say Henderson right now.
No surprise there. Jules, you were actually at the match, hustled back to be part of the show. How has it been to experience the whole screaming and shouting of managers and players when you were out at the ground? We spoke about this today. Both Mourinho and Klopp were very vocal in this game.
Yeah, very. I mean, Mourinho more than usual. A lot we see Joao Sacramento, his assistant, standing up a lot and talking a lot to the players. We've seen Jose Mourinho doing it as well, but tonight I felt that he was more switched on. I mean, it was such a big game for them too, for him personally, against Klopp. But I always find it fascinating. We were just discussing it with Stevie just before. Mourinho, for example, had to go at Matt Doherty pretty much from minute 1 until minute 90, and the poor Doherty, because he played first as a left wing back, so he was on the left hand side, which was the side of Mourinho, but then was switched to a right back position at halftime, which meant that even the second half he was again on Jose Mourinho's side, and he had it in his ear all the time. And because he made mistakes, because he was not very good, and like Stevie pointed out, I think he certainly looked like he really disturbed him, and he kept losing the ball, and he got worse and worse as Mourinho was just roasting him the whole game. And I don't know if Mourinho thought about that, or if that worked or whatever, but certainly it felt like, I mean, Doherty had a really bad game, and also Mourinho in his ear the whole time. And for Liverpool, Klopp and Trent have a very interesting, I think, relationship right now, because it feels like Klopp is on him the whole time, and probably rightly so, because we've seen how some lows he had in recent games. Alexander-Arnold not really being at his best, and maybe Klopp feels that he has to always be talking to him to keep him switched on. And certainly tonight it worked, because even if defensively at times he made a few mistakes, but he was certainly better than what we saw in recent weeks.
Jules, I asked the question in the show to the guys, is Gareth Bale done? In a match like this, where obviously Spurs would have needed a player with that type of skill set, and he only gets 10 minutes when it's 3-1, if not in this match, when? Do you think Bale's done?
Yeah, I was surprised, and then to be fair, when he came on, he didn't really look like he was bothered anyway. And he goes back also to that sort of little incident that they had at training a couple of weeks ago, where Mourinho said, what do you want? Do you want to go back to Madrid and not play at all football? And I'm not sure what kind of relationship they have. I haven't heard anything, but it looks like it's not great, and it certainly looks like Bale is going to go back to Madrid, and the whole this whole story, which looked great on paper at the beginning, and I think we all liked it, going back to your old club, and it was very romantic and all of that. So far, he has failed. The whole thing has failed.
Shaka, we would talk about Bale in Madrid. I think people use the word sad a lot, but this would be even more sad, wouldn't it?
And sad in what context?
Well, just that he's if it didn't work out in Madrid, fine. At the end, that's one thing. He goes home with a bunch of trophies and a lot of money. But if he goes back to Spurs and can't impact this team in this moment, and is basically written off by Mourinho, that's even a bigger decline than we thought for Bale.
Yeah, without question. And listen, on the one hand, maybe some were willing to sympathise with Gareth Bale at Madrid. feeling that he never really been fully appreciated, and maybe because it was Ronaldo and it all kind of came apart at the seams and he never got a fair shot. But then you felt if anywhere he'd excel, it would be back at Spurs. And I think a lot of big clubs were prepared to take that chance on Gareth Bale. Again, because of how those relationships soured in Madrid. But if it doesn't work at Spurs, I'm not sure who is willing to take that chance again. And yeah, it does look... It is sad to see a player as incredibly gifted kind of fall in the way that he has over the last 2 or 3 years.
Stevie, is Ruben Diaz currently the best center back in the Premier League? He has completely transformed Man City's defense, and John Stones is also benefiting from him. What do you think?
I find it difficult to argue that both of them have been as good as each other, and as a pair they absolutely have been the best centre back pair in the Premier League since they both started playing together. Somewhat, must be about what, 3 months now? Mm-hmm. Is it as long as that?
You don't give Diaz the credit over Stones?
No, I think they've both been as good as each other. I think they complement each other. I think Diaz has benefited from having Stones beside him, to be honest, just as much as Stones has benefited having Diaz. So I wouldn't separate one from the other. I would say as a pair, there's no question, they're the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League by a long way.
Jules, speculation, our next question. What does Jules make of the reports of Messi and his family learning French?
Yeah, I'm teaching them. I mean, we do it on Zoom because, you know, right now he can't really come to my house. I can't really come to his house. I'm really busy as well, you know, with the children and the wife, the family, all of that. So we do it on Zooms, which is a bit challenging, I have to be honest. But yeah, you know, they're doing good. They're doing good. They're really, Antonella a little bit better than Leo, but I'm sure that by the time he signs for PSG in 6 months' time, he'll be completely fluent. And you know, I play him like music in French and movies, so it's all going great.
Mm-hmm. Jules, we know how close you are with footballers. You got nicknames for Ney, for Greasy. What's your nickname for Leo going to be?
That's a good one. I mean, I think Leo right now is good. That's how I call him, you know, when we're on Zoom. And he's great. He loves it. So, you know, Jules and Leo, it seems to be working right now.
All right, Jules and Leo. I think the Gavin Jules show might get a new title then. Jules, another one for you. At least you'd get to talk more, right? Jules, is there any chance we see a real title race this season in Ligue 1? Are Lille legit title contenders?
Yes, of course they are. They're having a great season, and we certainly have already a lot of suspense at the top. It will be between them three, Lille, Lyon and PSG. And it's really tight. We saw Lyon going to Paris and win in the Ligue 2 months ago. Certainly against Lille, it was a draw for Paris, and that was really tight games. Lille have great young players, really good coach in Christophe Galtier. They have going forwards, and I think that youth and the fact that no one expected them really to be fighting for the title in Lyon is very different. Rudy Garcia, and he deserves a lot of credit, even if he's not really my cup of tea as a manager, but has changed that team. They play with so much confidence now. They used to be only about playing on the wings. Now they've got different assets to the game. It's very interesting. And then in Paris we've got Pochettino, and he's starting slowly to put his touch on this team. The way they play that 4-2-2-2 formation is working really well. So it'll be very fascinating the next 4 months.
Stevie, your thoughts on Lille? No, I would never do that.
Who's that?
Next question. This is a good one. Biggest team win celebration that didn't involve a trophy. So I'm guessing that's staving off relegation or a semifinal or anything really, but doesn't involve a trophy. Shaka, any big celebrations for you that didn't involve a trophy?
Big celebrations. When I was at Newcastle, we oddly went on an open-top bus tour, even though we didn't win the league. That was weird.
That is weird. That counts. That definitely counts as a big team celebration that did not involve a trophy. Stevie's bored.
No, I'm
just
trying
want
to remember the team we played against. I'm going to look it up.
Because you won all the trophies, so most of your celebrations involved, Stevie, I'm guessing some type of hardware, right?
I'll tell you what, I played for non-league Doncaster Rovers for the first and only time I played in the first round proper of the FA Cup. And it was for Doncaster, and we were non-league, and we were playing, I can't remember the name of the team, down south. They were in the old third division, and we beat them 1-0. And we had about 300 fans came with us, and then when the final whistle went, the whole 300 invaded the pitch, and we were all hugging and jumping up and down. It was fantastic. First round of the FA Cup for the first time ever. It's magic.
Magic of the FA Cup.
Let me add one to that, Sebi. When was at Reading, that the 94-95 season, we got to the playoff final. We lost to Bolton after extra time, as it happens. And we, they had this big celebration, planned in Main Square. I can't remember what the square was called in town. But, the team was dejected and just heading back to our own place, only to, as we get into Reading, to hear that nearly 10,000 people still showed up. So the bus had to take a detour from, heading back to Elm Park and went into the main town centre in Reading. 10,000 people. We lost the playoff final. 10,000 people still came out to kind of celebrate. Yeah.
Shaka, who was Martin Allen? Not Martin Allen. The Scouser Allen. Alvin Martin. Sorry. Who was Alvin Martin the manager of?
Southend United, Stevie.
Southend, that was a team.
Look at that. Look at Seb's lower league English football knowledge coming through in the clutch. That was definitely not off Wikipedia.
Fantastic. Southend, yeah. I think Alvin got the bullet about 2 weeks later, unfortunately, but that was it. Southend United, first round, magic.
All right, speaking of magic, Stevie, we haven't had any updates on the diet. How is it going?
Oh, it's going well. I told you, it's not a diet.
It's a lifestyle change. Yeah, it's a lifestyle change.
It's a lifestyle change. It's no beer during the week, and only Saturday and Sunday I can drink beer. And then cutting down on carbs, not 100%. I tried to do 100%, but it was really hard. But so it's a gradual thing. It's a lifestyle thing. It's not a diet.
Good. I like that. He's committed. What are the carbs you're allowing yourself, Stevie?
Just a bit of bread and butter now and again with the old homemade soup, stuff like that. Yes. Not overdoing it.
Yep.
Staying off the crisps. That's not easy. No crisps and Coke. No crisps, no Coke, no beer. That's no easy.
Bread and butter, the staples to any successful diet. You heard it here first on ESPN FC's Extra Time.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.